is one. The only world building issue that really exists with Usopp so far is one that pertains to the Zantadas that I'll cover when we get to Dressrosa. So obviously, if you are basically only in one part of the story for 400 chapters, there's not a whole lot to go off of, right? And that's part of the issue. Outside of acknowledging how neglectful Oda has been of Usopp, one of the reasons that people have some hope left is because we know at some point down the line, hopefully, after Wano, Elbaf will be a factor. And out of every Straw Hat, Usopp has the most character connections and motivations when it comes to Elbaf. So there's a chance that something great is on the horizon for our sniper. I would argue that there is no evidence to believe in this as a foregone conclusion, since Oda's implementation of Zoro and Sanji in the past 2 arcs have been nothing short of huge failures. But we'll have to wait and verify the facts for Usopp and Elbaf. If you take the pre-op...
Yeah.
And he says Sanji and Whole Cake was a failure.
Yeah, he did. I remember now. Yeah.
Because he said the last 2 arcs with Sanji and Zoro.
Why did he specifically just said Sanji and Zoro? Since he kind of also mentioned how Chopper is pretty much B tier, a B tier lister to Law, and how Nami isn't even trying to aspire to her dreams. But
why is it so wrong to think that Usopp is going to get stuff with the Giants, considering his connections to previous characters that were Giants?
yeah, and that's the thing. Just because he knows a few Giants doesn't really mean much to Albath. I guess for Oimo and Kashi, yes, Oimo and Kashi, yeah, it's a good thing for those two, but apart from that, nothing more will really happen. Well, at least that we don't know of. Maybe those two will escape from... I mean, not escape to... journey to Albath and inform the people of Albath about what happened to Dorian Bragi, but apart from that, there's really nothing else Albath can really do for Usopp per se, or vice versa.
It sounds like he's already going in with the mindset that once we go to Elbaf, it's going to go downhill for Usopp.
That is definitely what he's saying.
And we've lost another.
Was it? Oh, okay. We didn't lose another. That one wasn't even saying anything.
True.
Optimistic route here and assume that what's going to be in Elbaf is good. What this leaves you with is essentially the feeling that Usopp has been on the waiting list for a very long time, which is not a good feeling to have. There won't be a whole lot leading up and building up into Elbaf, so it's just going to be one thing isolated from the rest of the story. And it's a bit of a waste, too. If you were looking at Usopp coming out of the time skip, he had one of the more severe changes compared to the rest of his crew. He developed physically in a manner that no one saw coming. Yet Oda didn't really do anything with the contradiction that exists with this physical change. A contradiction in the sense that Usopp very much looks the part of a hero, but isn't mentally, which...
I mean, he just got buff. Are you saying getting buff means you're more heroic? He's got the pop greens. And that's about it.
Well, maybe that buffness helps steady his arms for sniping.
Maybe, but he didn't have... I guess he had the most... Well, except for Chopper, but I don't know what you want to call it for the Chopper. The most physical changes apart from everyone. But apart from that, his character is pretty much the
I think
same.
he's saying most physical, because I think Frankie would be in the most physical change.
I mean, if you want to be specific, he changed... Yeah, he definitely changed the most, Frankie. But that isn't his body, you know. That's Vegapunk's technology. Yeah, I mean... Yummy. But yeah, what is this point?
I think is brilliant in nature because being brave is an action of the heart. It's not dictated strictly by physical limits. Ah, man. Usopp is a victim of what happens when you have too many characters. A concept which I'll explore in more depth shortly, so allow me to leave it at that when it comes to Usopp.
King in real life?
You'll likely notice that I have left out Robin. Allow me to...
Dude, he's real! He's real! Is a venture, regular show reference with Muscle Man and the.
leave it at that when it comes to Usopp. You'll likely notice that I have left out Robin in this equation when discussing dreams. That's because Robin doesn't have anything inherently wrong with her dream. The world building and character agency are intact, compared to the Straw Hats, definitely more intact, because she is light years ahead of them, since Robin actually goes out of her way to pursue her interests. Robin's main issue is the same as Usopp's, just at a lesser level. Robin doesn't get much screen time at all, and is vastly underused for how important she's supposed to be in the world. For some reason, Oda groups Robin and uses her to a similar extent that he does Frankie and Brooke, despite Frankie and Brooke being more akin to gag characters.
That's. Oh, I'm gonna let this ad.
Yeah, it's on. Despite Frankie and Brooke being her to a similar extent than the wartime at all, and is vastly underused for how important she's supposed to be in the world. For some,
Or I'll stop here and say no, cause she just has to read some stone. That's all she does. That's all.
Not to mention her,
That's all she does. She just reads some stones.
yeah, but also her dream requires her to find these stones and actually translate them, whereas mostly everyone else's dreams just require them to go one place to another. She has to actively look for these things in these places. Like Luffy's dream, just get to the last island. For Robin,
Oh yeah,
she has to find the.
unlike Nami, we don't ever see her draw a map of the world. Well, I mean, unlike Robin, we don't see Nami draw a map of the world. We see Robin trying to find these poneglyphs. We have an entire arc trying to obtain the road poneglyphs, and
Not
so
to mention the whole thing about the void century with these poneglyphs.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's the point he's trying to make.
I want to say like Robin's dream has more implications to the story as a whole than Nami's dream of drawing a map.
Yeah, Luffy and Nami has very important world building dreams. Not like Sanji finding a legendary sea isn't big, or Zoro toppling down the strongest isn't something. But in the overall worlds of One Piece, the Luffy and Robin are like the most important. So I can't even say too much. For a second, I thought Crocodile had no head. Yeah, I can see it. His head is
And the
black.
angle is not doing favors.
His head's black, and the detail on his hair is a little faint.
for some reason, Oda groups Robin and uses her to a similar extent that he does Frankie and Brooke.
Second thing, they're the trio. I forget what they're called, but they're the oldest members of the Straw Hats, and well, that's how Oda wants to write her.
Yeah, because like Oda is compared like to I believe Robin being the mother, Frankie being the dad, and I think Brooke being like the crazy grandpa or something.
That's how they're written, to be together. They have a dynamic.
You got the monster
Despite
trio, the
groups
weak
Robin
trio,
and
and the family trio.
uses her to a similar extent that he does Frankie and Brooke, despite Frankie and Brooke being more akin to gag characters. Yeah, it's on.
And then those two being gag. The man died 50 years ago, Frankie had to see one of the few people in his life get sent away for something that he technically did. Don't even say that these gag characters, you don't see me doing the quotation marks, aren't at least a little bit nuanced. Not to mention, it's a manga, and it's a story. We have characters. They're characters. They can have more than one personality. Just because they're pretty bombastic characters doesn't mean they don't have nothing going on. What about the instance with the Tantaras? Frankie wanted to help them out. Remember? You remember that scene? Remember that scene in Dressrosa? And remember with Brooke being the MVP of the entire Whole Cake arc? You can't say that wasn't important to his character. Makes him less of a
If
gag. Oh, whatever. This kid just... What's the matter with him?
I don't know his priorities. He wants what he wants, and since he doesn't get it, therefore the story's bad. It's just gonna keep happening whenever he tries to explain anything about the story.
He keeps on bringing up baseless stuff. He doesn't understand Luffy somehow. Zoro is an easy thing. He only has one specific destination, and it's to beat Mihawk. Nami here doesn't show her dream, so she's irrelevant. Sanji... Well, Sanji just has to find the damn thing. It's a very vague compared to everyone else. And then Chopper... Well, I don't really have much to say to Chopper. He just doesn't like Chopper. That's what I'm getting from that. Usopp has to be the brave warrior of the sea. That's what he wants. It's not that complex, guy. Also, he's gonna remark how, Robin's sex appeal, considering they did it with Nami.
I doubt it.
Oh yeah, he has a lot more respect for Robin.
She actually chases her dreams.
Character dreams and motivations are an incredibly important aspect to writing stories. I hope that's what you get from what we've been talking about, because what your characters want, feel, and need serve as a driving force for the reader to stay connected and to care about what you write. Even more so when you are dealing with main characters. Main characters are called main characters because they serve as the surrogate through which the audience connects to any given story. These individuals stand at the forefront. And what we've come to the conclusion of in this section of Dreams is that there is without a doubt several issues with the way that Oda has handled things.
What about their actual character? Can they just be some sort of actual character that goes along with the story? Like Brooke and oh, like the gag characters, Brooke and Frankie. Can they just go along with the story? Whatever. I'll go a little bit forward and then I'll stop because damn, my voice is waning and
I honestly think we can stop at the world building right now because we've effectively gone past Usopp's dream.
Yeah, I guess I'll stop here. I was gonna go a little bit further and see what he's gonna not say about the world building, Oda and his editors. But let's save that.
Hey, Rex is here.
Let's save this for a later time. Who? Oh, well, sorry about that, mates.
Yeah, came in just as it was ending.
I mean, we could. We could like continue us off for like an hour later if more people say they want to do this, but yeah, let's stop here for today.